Good morning, and welcome to Charles Travels, the podcast where we explore the world's most fascinating stories and destinations. Today, we're going to take you to the heart of London, to Trafalgar Square, where a recent event has sparked a heated debate about faith, culture, and public spaces. As we wander through the bustling streets of central London, we find ourselves in the midst of a vibrant and diverse community where people from all walks of life come together to celebrate their differences. But last Monday evening, a Ramadan event in Trafalgar Square became the focal point of controversy, when Shadow Justice Secretary Nick Timothy described public prayers at the gathering as an act of domination. The event, organized by the charity Ramadan Tent Project, was part of a series of open iftar gatherings where people come together to break their fast and share a meal. But what was meant to be a joyous celebration of faith and community has been marred by criticism from some quarters, with Timothy claiming that mass ritual prayer in public places is an act of domination. As we delve deeper into the story, we find that the issue goes beyond just one event or one faith community. It raises important questions about the norms of British culture and how religion is expressed in shared public spaces. Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative leader, has weighed in on the debate, saying that she didn't like what she saw in footage from the event and that it was exclusionary. But others have come to the defense of the event, arguing that it was open to all and that there were no restrictions on anyone attending. The charity behind the event, Ramadan Tent Project, has said that Badenoch's comments were a gross misrepresentation of the gathering and that the feedback from attendees was overwhelmingly positive. As we explore this complex issue, we're reminded that public spaces like Trafalgar Square are meant to be inclusive and welcoming to all. They're places where people can come together to celebrate their differences and find common ground. And yet, as this debate shows us, there are still many challenges to overcome when it comes to balancing different faiths and cultures in our shared public spaces. We'll be right back with more fascinating travel adventures on Charles Travels. Welcome back to Charles Travels. I'm your host, Charles. As we continue our journey through the stories that shape our world, we find ourselves in Barcelona, Spain, where a tragic event has unfolded. The city, known for its vibrant beaches, rich culture, and nightlife, was the destination of choice for James "Jimmy" Gracie, a 20-year-old college student from Illinois who had traveled there for spring break. As Jimmy and his friends enjoyed the city's offerings, they found themselves at a nightclub in the early hours of Tuesday. It was around 3 a.m. when Jimmy separated from his group, and unfortunately, he never returned to the room he was renting with his friends. The realization that something was amiss came when police contacted Jimmy's family, informing them that they had recovered his phone. The search for Jimmy ensued, with authorities scouring the area where he was last seen. Sadly, their efforts led to the discovery of his body in the waters off a Barcelona beach on Thursday. The news sent shockwaves through the community, with those who knew Jimmy remembering him as a great kid, a good Catholic boy from the Midwest, an excellent student, and a role model to his younger cousins. As we reflect on this tragic event, we are reminded of the unpredictability of life and the importance of cherishing every moment with our loved ones. The University of Alabama, where Jimmy was a student, has offered its support and assistance to the family during this difficult time. Jimmy's story is a poignant reminder of the risks and uncertainties that come with traveling, even in places considered safe. It also highlights the resilience and kindness of communities that come together to support those affected by tragedy. As we pause to remember Jimmy and his family, we are reminded of the power of human connection and the impact one life can have on so many others. Welcome back to Charles Travels. I'm your host, Charles. As we continue our journey across America, we find ourselves in the midst of a significant conversation about voting rights and election security. The SAVE Act, a sweeping election overhaul, has begun its consideration in the U.S. Senate, sparking intense debate and discussion among lawmakers and citizens alike. As we travel through the heartland of America, we notice a sense of unease and uncertainty surrounding the voting process. Some argue that proof of citizenship requirements are necessary to maintain election security, while others claim that such measures could disenfranchise certain groups of people, particularly those who lack easy access to documents like valid U.S. passports or certified birth certificates. We stop in Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis has expressed his intention to sign into law new proof of citizenship requirements for voter registration. We talk to locals who share their concerns and perspectives on the issue. Some believe that these measures are essential to prevent non-citizen voting, while others worry about the potential impact on marginalized communities. As we make our way to South Dakota and Utah, we find similar proof of citizenship bills awaiting signature on governors' desks. We visit with election officials who explain the complexities of implementing such laws and the potential consequences for voters. We also speak with advocates who argue that these measures are not only unnecessary, but also potentially harmful to democratic participation. Our journey takes us through the rolling hills and vast plains of rural America, where we encounter people from all walks of life, each with their own story to tell about voting and democracy. We meet a young woman in Arizona who shares her experience of navigating the state's bifurcated registration system, which requires proof of citizenship to vote in state and local elections. As we reflect on our travels, we realize that the debate surrounding the SAV Act and its state-level replicas is not just about election security, it's also about the fundamental right to participate in the democratic process. We consider the potential consequences of these laws, not only for individuals, but also for the health of our democracy as a whole. As the sun sets on another day of traveling through America, we're reminded that the story of voting rights is complex and multifaceted. It's a story about people, places, and the pursuit of a more perfect union. We'll continue to explore this story and many others on Charles Travels as we celebrate the beauty of everyday life and the dignity of ordinary work. That's all for today's Charles Travels. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep on traveling.